Hello, and welcome to For Better or Worse, a movie and TV podcast. The podcast where we review movies and TV. Follow us on Instagram at FBOW_podcast and at YouTube at FBOW podcast to show your support and tell us you like us. I'm Toby.
I'm Gino.
And today we're talking about Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 2.
Yay. All right, non-spoilers, go.
Okay, awesome. We binged it in a day. So, or did we do 2 days?
We binged it in it's like 4 hours of video.
Right, because it's in two parts.
We binged it in like an hour and a half. That's what it felt like. It went quick.
It did go real quick. I'm pretty sure we did it in one day.
Yeah.
And
it's the best compliment I can give.
I was going to say, if like you guys know Gino, which you probably don't, but over time maybe,
you probably do.
He does not binge. I think the only other show I've known him to binge is Severance.
Which I did without you. I was like, I have to watch this myself.
He watched like cardinal rule
this
of
is not
marriage.
about Severance.
It's
about
not.
Stranger Things 4.
I'm just trying to give a context of like he doesn't binge things. This, and I was like, we need to watch the second part, and he's like, we'll see, and then he did it. So like, non-spoiler, just awesome. Just
for
like
better or worse.
Oh, sorry, better for better. Yeah,
same for me. For better. Again. It's 4 hours. I think the first episode's like an hour and a half. The second episode's 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So if my math is sorry, that's 5 hours. That's insane. We watched 5 hours of TV in one night. Yeah, that's the biggest compliment I can give. It's good for better. Yeah, I mean like you're gonna look at those timestamps. You're like, oh god, I don't have time for this. You have time for it. Watch it. I got very like Empire Strikes Back vibes from this.
I can't
tell you without spoiling it. So for better, go watch it, come back, listen to our review. All right, spoilers review now.
Okay.
Go.
So I think the best way to do this is to talk about the stories happening and to talk about like what we think. We don't have to go, God forbid, we're not going to do.
I'm going to sit here and explain all 5 hours.
That's not what we're doing.
Line for line.
That's not what we're doing. So what I'm trying to think about is which story it opens with.
We can't. There's no way we're going to remember 5 hours.
No, but I just rewatched. So the first story we can go with is...
Wait, pause. Explain to the audience. I watched it once. How many times have you watched it? It was like, what? It came out last week? How many times have you watched these 2 episodes again?
So watched is a loose term because I keep falling asleep during them, but I've had them both on twice.
We didn't fall asleep the first time. That's not a negative review.
First time, so awake. Second time, I keep turning it on at 10 thinking I'm going to stay awake.
You've been falling asleep at 10.
Exactly. Like 10 is my bedtime.
Sorry. Go ahead. Interrupted.
Okay, so the first story, we can talk about Hopper. They're in Russia.
Probably the worst of the stories. There's like 3 main stories, right?
Yes, I mean give or take. We'll count, but yeah. So right now, they're in Russia. They have escaped the prison. They are with Yuri, and Yuri is taking them to has a helicopter, and like we finally get to see Hopper and I forgot her name.
Winona
Ryder's character. It'll come to me. Kiss.
Do they kiss? Oh yeah, they did.
Like make out. They have like a whole session. Then the phone rings.
They did a smooch. Yeah. So they're basically their grand plan is, which is like a little bit like, they're like, okay, we just left this high security prison. We are gonna get this this peanut butter smuggler man. What's his name?
Yuri.
Just said it. To fix this helicopter, he's going to fly us to America. Then I guess somehow they realize that by talking to like the
so then
lady in
they're supposed to like talk to Owens. Like
I can't remember the town.
Hawkins.
They talked to not Owens. They talked to some lady who works for Owens.
Because Owens right now is. We don't know what's his.
We're not up to his story yet.
Well, we also don't know what happens with him. He gets locked in the lab, and he's MIA.
We're just going to do the basic premise of each story. The basic premise of their story. We can't. No, we can't.
Whatever I want.
You don't like to recap.
I don't.
The basic premise of their story is once they find out the kids are fighting something from the Upside Down, they're going to go back to the Russian prison they just broke out of.
Yes.
Beat up all the underground things because in their head they're like,
they don't know they're there. They think they're just going to go in with all the guards.
No, they know the hive mind's there. That's their whole thing.
They know the hive mind is there, but they don't know that it has gone into all the other
No,
monsters.
that, but I'm telling the basic premise. Their plan is they're gonna go back to the Russian prison, beat up all the hive mind underground, upside down things.
Yeah, the
particles. And then by beating them up in Russia, because it's a hive mind, it's gonna also beat them up in Hawkins telepathically.
Right.
Thus helping the children in Hawkins. And I think that's dumb, but whatever.
I think the problem is that they rely too much on these poor children to just take care of everything.
As like characters. I think from a writing perspective, they're like, ooh, we put Hopper in Russia? Right. We got to give him something to do? So the Russians took some hive mind.
Joyce is her name.
Yeah, Winona Ryder. Joyce. So yes, they get back. So their plan is go beat them up, and then the guys are going to save them with the helicopter at the end. That's their plan.
Right.
So they tell the faceless man from Game of Thrones.
Crazy, you guys.
He's like a Russian guard that's now a traitor. Like, you better make sure this guy fixes the helicopter and come save us.
I forgot his name.
I'm going to beat you up.
Well, and then we also got a little bit of backstory on Yuri, which was nice. That, like, he used to be in the military and he, like, saved all of his men.
Yeah.
And they're like, where's that guy? And I was like, okay, like a little character development. I see that.
I will say, like, okay, so you know how Toby and I, since we ripped Obi-Wan, we like characters. And I'll say if the Duffer Brothers are good at anything, which they are good at a lot of things, they are very good at making you care about the characters. Like, there's not many characters in the show that are like, whatever, I don't care. Like,
True.
Like even Yuri, like some side character, smuggler guy who like betrays them.
A dick, right? Like
who's like a D-bag.
Yeah.
We like him.
We like him a lot.
Yeah, I like him. Or you like to hate him. Like they make him an interesting character.
And what they also do that's nice is you don't want anyone to die. Except, I guess, Jason, nobody liked.
We have to talk about that. They made comments about that.
I'm sure. They don't want anyone to die. We can talk about it now.
Okay, so Millie Bobby Brown made some like offhand joke that's like, we try, season 4, we try to take a picture with everybody. There's like 50 characters. We couldn't fit anybody. Like, the Duffer Brothers have to start killing people. There's 2 people in the picture, which I think she's making a joke.
Of course, she's making a joke.
But like, obviously, Twitter's like, the Duffer Brothers don't kill anybody.
Poor girl.
Okay, first of all, they killed
at least one character.
The best character from season 2.
Bob.
What's the character? Sam. Sean. He's in Lord of the Rings.
That's why we called him Sam.
Samuel
and Bob. Sean Astin.
They killed Sean Astin, the best character in that show.
You guys.
They're just not killing any of the main characters.
They're not killing any of the main characters because, like, they need people for you to grow with.
Yeah.
It can't be new characters every season.
And so what they said was, like, yeah, we know that, like, obviously death brings whatever to a story, but, like, this is not Westeros. We're in Hawkins. Like, leave us alone.
And they have 2 Game of Thrones characters in there, so.
They do. Also, I mean, like, compared to the ending of Game of Thrones.
It's not over yet.
Right, but we're like getting there. We're like, this is like season 6 territory of Game of Thrones.
Okay, so whatever you guys do with the next season is make or break.
As Game of Thrones led up to the end, it got worse and worse and worse. I'm saying that as Stranger Things is leading up to the end, it's getting better and better. So Stranger Things better than Game of Thrones, Toby.
Yeah, but in the season the season before the end one had your favorite episode.
That was season 6, the Battle of the Bastards.
Right. So you're saying that this is the season 6.
No, I'm saying that Game of Thrones got worse. Okay, with the exception of that one episode. It got bad as it went towards the end.
Okay.
And this is getting good as it's getting towards the end.
This is getting really good.
So I'm going to make the controversial opinion that I think that by the end of Stranger Things, people are going to consider it better than Game of Thrones.
I don't think it's
because Game of Thrones is bad. People hate Game of Thrones now.
Yeah.
Oh, you think it's not controversial?
I don't think that's very controversial.
All right. Anyway, Russia, Hopper. They get to the.
So this was cool because they get to the prison and nobody's there, and then we get to hear on the.
Couldn't pay for the extras. COVID.
That's a problem.
COVID restrictions. They couldn't get the actors back. They're like, I don't know, they're dead.
That's right. They're dead. They're fighting. Oh, I got an idea.
Yeah. So they just like go back into the Russian camp very casually.
Right. Very casually, and then what ends up happening, which will probably come back in season 5.
Oh, yeah.
That like the particles were let out of whatever casing they were in, like behind the glass, and they end up going into all of the monsters that were there and seemingly dead, and it like revitalizes them, or they're like zombies.
Brings
they're
them
like
back.
they're like hive mind now, so they're they're back.
Yeah, so I guess is the dust particles like part of the Mind Flayer?
We see that.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Mind Flayer because they set up the Mind Flayer as like the main villain of the show.
Right.
And then I thought it was clear that that was supposed to be Vecna, and then you're like, no, it's not. And then they showed it was Vecna.
Yeah, so they did.
I was right again.
This also feels like very Harry Potter, where like maybe they came up with the. I mean, I don't know if Harry Potter did this, but like you come up with the end first, where like
I don't know if they did.
Everything is like intertwined.
Yeah, but like Harry Potter, they don't think she came up with the end first.
I don't know.
I don't think she did.
I mean, Horcruxes. No, made up. Came up with the.
I don't think she knew about Horcruxes
book
in
5?
the beginning of the books. Yeah, I don't think no. And I'm almost certain they don't come up with the stuff until after the season's over. Like
Duffer Brothers.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
Which
means they're doing a good job considering.
That's what I'm saying. Like the writing here flows very well, and like if you had to circle back to make Vecna in charge of the Mind Flayer, like bravo.
I guess we're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Sorry,
but
I had no patience.
I thought that Vecna, like for me, the Mind Flayer. I thought the Mind Flayer was kind of a lame villain, if that's going to be your main villain, because it's just like a bunch of dust. Right, you can't punch a bunch of dust.
Yeah, Gino's a villain aficionado, if you will.
So it's boring to just have like some amorphous force be your villain. So I think it's a better idea where they're like, we need someone we can punch in the face.
Well, it's also a better
Let's
villain.
make Vecna.
But he also has like a backstory where like the world hurt him, or he wanted to hurt the world, and now he's like coming back.
From he's like an evil version of 11.
Right. He like hates Hawkins because like that's where he was.
He wants to blow the Earth up.
So I mean, like,
I think and then so you find out basically that like the Mind Flayer didn't make Vecna. Vecna found this dust and then like shaped it into the Mind Flayer and like got its powers from it. So it's like they're like, whatever, they're the same.
Yeah. So that was cool. So so now they're like
we got more powers from it, I guess.
Yeah. So they're fighting in the prison. Murray's awesome. They like essentially they do it.
They bring a flamethrower.
I would say that's so at the last scene, right, where everybody comes together. I know we like jumped ahead. But like I'm gonna sneeze.
They do a good job of like the stuff that I mean, like even though the idea that like the stuff they do in Russia is gonna affect them in Hawkins is dumb, they do a good job of like cutting between like what the people in Russia are doing because they had to end up fighting the Demogorgon again, or a Demogorgon. I don't know if there's multiples. So they end up fighting a Demogorgon again, and like as they're struggling in Hawkins, Hopper is struggling in Russia, and
it's like in the Upside Down, it's in Hawkins, it's in Russia. It's like it's just
he has a freaking sword,
right? Like pulls his sword out.
Yeah, so like they're basically their plan is that they're now that they're in the place and they know the Demogorgon's there and all the demi-dogs, they're going to get them all to come into the pit where they like have the monster fights from the beginning of the season. They're gonna lock Hopper and Winona Ryder in a cage, and then Murray's gonna come with the flamethrower and kill all of them. And he does, except for the Demogorgon. And then Hopper picks up a freaking sword. And slices its head off.
Just ninjas.
Yeah. Hopper, starved for a year or two, but still very strong.
That was also cute. We skipped over it when they were like flirting in the beginning. And he was like, I'm thinking about our date. And he's like, oh, yeah, I just want lasagna. And she's like, that's it?
Yeah, so, because I didn't realize this, but the first half of the season, when they're doing the flashbacks to season 3, they didn't shoot that in season 3. That's all new footage. So they had to put a fat suit on Hopper.
What flashbacks?
Remember they showed like him in the mall again, getting blown up? And like going and getting captured by the Russians.
Oh yeah,
that's all new footage. So they had to put a fat suit on him because he lost all that weight for Hellboy. I thought he had gained it back for Black Widow, but I guess not.
They put a fat.
He's fat. Is he fat in Black Widow?
He is fat in Black Widow, but maybe they had a fat
suit.
Put
a fat suit.
He needed to be fat in Black Widow.
Yeah, he lost all the weight for Hellboy, but then they put him in a muscle suit anyway. So he's like, "Why would I do this?" And then I thought he had gained it back for whatever, and then I guess he had to lose it for this because
he was like
starving
in a prison.
Yeah, so they had to put a fat suit on him for the beginning. I had no idea. The makeup in this is great. We'll talk about Vecna. Yeah. We had that argument about whether it's CGI or
yes, we did
makeup. It's both.
I know.
Yeah, you were right. Yeah, so yeah, the makeup in this is great. So anyway, I feel like that's pretty much the Russia story. They end up back in they beat the Demogorgon,
right, and then they come back, and we'll talk about the end at the end.
Yeah. Okay, so now the B story, so whatever, the kids that go into the Upside Down to go beat up Vecna.
Yes.
To go kill him with Molotov cocktails.
Well, hang on. I'm thinking about how this starts because that's how the second half starts.
They come up with their plan in the trail, and and then
wait. It starts because Vecna had captured. Oh my God, why am I so bad with names? Nancy. Remember? And showed Nancy all of these awful, horrible things. So Nancy goes to report.
At the end of the last episode, Vecna captures Nancy, and he wants to show her, like, this is or he basically has the, like, mustache twirling villain thing.
Right?
But, like, not towards the end battle. He has it in the middle.
Vecna, we thought you were better than that.
But for all we know, it takes him 2 seconds to do that because he's doing it in her brain.
Yeah.
So he's just doing it psychically. So Vecna basically shows Nancy, like, I'm number one. I came from the same Department of Energy as 11. Like, show 11. Here's my plan. I'm going to kill 4 people and blow up the Earth.
Destroy Hawkins.
And, like, by killing 4 people in Hawkins, because basically he can't open up portals, but 11 can.
I guess so. So the only way he can open up portals is by killing people.
Yeah, it's like getting into their mind and killing them, and that opens up a portal. Yeah. So I guess that's kind of proof that, like, he's not as powerful as 11.
Which I think might come back again in the 5th
because if 11 can open up portals, and she did open up portals a couple of times,
and she can close them.
Yeah, so I guess but the thing is, 11 gets, like, sleepy and, like, she sometimes.
Well, because also
she needs the confidence boost.
I know.
Yeah, she needs, again, she's an anime character.
She needs Mike to yell, I love you.
I love you, yeah. Which we called it. We
didn't call it. Other people on the internet called it.
I didn't know that, and I called it.
You didn't call it.
We called it in the last episode of the podcast.
No, I repeated things that people said.
I fight for my friends, and then she did it. Yeah.
She did it.
Anywho, so basically they're coming up with their plan to kill Vecna. They're going to go back into
the Upside Down.
The Upside Down while he's attacking someone, because they basically are like, all right, if his powers are the same as 11's, then when he's in a trance, we can go up and just bop him on the head and kill him.
Right.
He can't see what's going on in the real world.
So that was, I thought that was a good, I like.
Good plan.
It was a good plan because I was like, how are you going to do
Except you're like 12 and you're going to die.
Right, like you're babies.
Yeah, you're babies.
You're babies. What do you guys think you're going to do?
So at this point, we're kind of skipping ahead a little bit in 11's story, but at this point, 11's already broken out of the laboratory and she's mind walking. Yes, she does. Yeah. She mind walks
Oh, I'm sorry. We're skipping her story.
Well, we're just
now.
We can't talk about the story of the kids going to the Upside Down without mentioning the fact that 11 is mind walking at this point into Max.
I feel like we can skip
and can see their plan. So she knows their plan.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So well, I see where you're going. So 11's like, all right, well, I got to step in right now.
Yeah, because I can see them.
They gonna die.
Yeah. So I think she's in she's in the lab when she does that, I think.
No, I got you.
Okay, yeah, she leaves the lab. Yeah, she's in the pizza fridge already at this
right,
point.
Because, so
yeah, but we gotta go, we're
which
just
story
mentioning
do you
that.
now?
We just gotta we're doing the Upside Down people. So again, their plan is that next time Vecna attacks, they're going to go and sneak up on him and bop him in the head.
Right. And it's going to be Max because they're like, let's not put somebody else in danger that doesn't know what they're up against.
Yeah.
Like, I beat him once, I'll beat him again. And everyone's like,
no, you had the power of Kate Bush on your side.
Right,
and you've been listening to that song a lot, so it's not going to work.
You only cheat death once here.
But yeah, I mean, they were, someone mentioned, I think, who's Max's boyfriend? Lucas mentions, like, why don't we just go back to the guidance counselor and find someone else dealing with problems and then wait for them to get attacked?
Lucas is like, no, seriously, let's go find someone else.
Yeah, and she's like, I can't put that on my shoulders that, like, someone else is going to die. So yeah, Max is going to basically act as bait to allow Vecna to
go
attack
into a
her.
trance, right.
So they go back to Vecna's house, the spooky house.
Wait, they have to go get weapons.
Oh yeah, first they go to like the Second Amendment store. And buy just all military surplus. They'd be like, but they don't buy. I'm gonna lie. Maybe they don't have enough money. I feel like you didn't buy enough guns.
I feel like also they had their trip was cut short.
Oh yeah, that's why. So they go to the Second Amendment store. They're buying guns. They're buying armor. They're buying bullets. I don't know where the trigger warning on that one was. We had a trigger warning in the first one.
I know, you guys.
It's like, okay, like here's a bunch of kids going to buy some guns.
Right. Literally a problem.
Yeah. And then they run into their classmates.
Oh my God. And also, Erica's 12. What are you doing at the gun store?
Whatever. But Natalie's 18, so she can buy a gun. And
Natalie?
Nancy? Whatever.
Nancy? Her
Nancy,
name is
people
Natalia.
online are comparing her to, what's her face from Aliens?
Sigourney
Weaver with her same haircut.
Oh my God. Very Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Did Aliens come out in 90 or 80?
It's in the 80s. At least the first Alien. I think also the second one.
Wow.
Yeah, the second one's
Duffer Brothers. Good connection without noticing it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I also forgot this show took place in the 80s at a lot of points.
Did you?
It's not like beating you over the head with 80s
No,
anymore.
and I feel like people had an issue with that in the first
like,
season.
Look,
They're like,
Pac-Man.
so 80s.
Yeah.
But now I think since we've grown such a story, we don't need that nostalgia.
So, yes, they go get the guns and knives and stuff, but then the bullies show up. Probably the worst characters in the show, the main bully guy. No one likes him.
You got to have a real bully, I guess.
Yeah, so he's a villain. You're not supposed to like him. Again, they do a good job of they make interesting characters. I guess he's the least interesting character, but whatever. He's a bad guy. No one likes him. He's just some crazy bully. And he's like, why are you guys at the gun store? You're going to go murder more people.
Right. Well,
you're
also,
Satanists.
I feel like they bring him back to like remind us that the town is against all these people.
Yeah.
Like I forgot.
Yeah,
they
didn't do a lot with that. Yeah, the town was going on vigilante mode.
Right, and then like
they didn't show enough of that.
No, there was like a little piece. Actually, when the town does go vigilante mode, it's like right when I remembered. I think at the gun store, I was like, I wonder what's going on with Jason. Like, where's he at? And then he showed up at the gun store, and I was like, oh, we brought it back.
Yep. So they have to leave the gun store, and they start building weapons, and like Natalie commits a federal crime.
Not Natalie.
Nancy by doing a sawed-off shotgun, which you're not supposed to do. I'm pretty sure. Someone correct me in the comments. A sawed-off shotgun is to make it easier to hide. And that's why it's illegal. You could have just left the shotgun regular if you're just going to shoot a guy.
Right. She said it would be more accurate.
Yeah. No. Well, she said. Well, I think it spreads it out more.
She said, so I won't miss.
Yeah, but like you're dealing with a Vecna, you want all that. Yeah.
So to all you gun owners out there,
just leave a comment. We're just a bunch of New York libs. We don't know about guns, so just if you. I mean, like, I was using an anonymous account if you're doing sawed-off shotguns.
Right, like, if you're going to just, like, admit, like, hey, I sawed off my shotgun.
I sawed off my shotgun. Like, the police are coming after. The FBI's coming. Right. So don't tell us. Anyway, so their plan is go in the upside down. Problem is, there's all the bats. They don't want to deal with the bats. So they have to do something with the bats. And there's all these vines everywhere, so they can't touch the vines, right? A little bit of stress in there. So they're going to have Metal Guy, Dungeons and Dragons guy, Eddie, and Dustin create go in the upside down and like armor up a trailer so they can like bring the bats there and like
and then like
distract them,
stay in the shelter, and
while Uma Thurman's daughter, the old guy,
oh my god,
he's like 30, he's like our age,
Steve Harrington
and Nancy walk on over to the house and bop Vecna on the head.
Boop.
Yeah.
And burn him. Burn her.
Burn him. And in the real world, Max, Lucas, and Lucas' sister, Robin, is that her name?
No, Lucas' sister is Erica. Robin is Uma Thurman's daughter.
Oh, Maya Hawke.
Yeah.
Because she's also Ethan Hawke's. So the second Ethan Hawke family thing we've talked about on the show. We talked about Moon Knight with Ethan Hawke.
Yes.
And now we're talking about Stranger Things.
Maybe we should watch one. I've never seen an actual Ethan Hawke movie. You know what I'm saying?
He's like in so much stuff.
I know. I've never seen one.
Yeah.
Maybe
he's never like the lead actor.
Yeah. He's never?
Uma Thurman's been a lead actor.
Also haven't seen a lot of Uma Thurman.
Oh, you got to watch Kill Bill.
You know what I've seen her in? The Producers.
She's good in The Producers, but like...
She is good in The Producers.
All right, so they go there. They send out the three people to go to Vecna's house.
Right.
They're starting to rekindle the romance between
and
Nancy and What's-Her-Face.
So I just rewatched this part yesterday. I think I woke up for it. And like I thought it was so they like cover a lot of their bases, right? They do a shot to the fact that they're in socks, so they're like super silent. Like
I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
they're not wearing shoes.
No, because they can't. They don't want to like make any creaks. So Vecna, they don't want Vecna to know that they're there. They don't say anything. They write on paper. They walk around with lamps, trying to like find where his energy is.
The upside down people or the
this is the people
the real world people
in regular Hawkins.
Okay, so Lucas, Max, and
Erica, his sister.
Yeah.
I also predicted from the first episode in this last season that Lucas and Erica were going to be like a important. Just because of the back and forth between his baseball game and her playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Basketball game.
What did I say?
You said baseball.
Baseball game. Basketball game.
I know sport.
I know. I do things. I runs.
If it's not soccer, Toby, then no.
I do balls.
Yeah.
And finally they're getting a big part, right? Like, and Erica finds where Vecna is. The energy
using like a bug
goes
zapper.
Crazy,
Where
right?
The battery? They don't. 80s don't have batteries for that. What is it? The C batteries?
I don't know.
There's big ass bug zappers walking around.
It's just a lamp. It's
a blue lamp.
It's a blue lamp. It's killing bugs.
Also didn't have blue LEDs in the 80s. Oh, wait. I got to... okay, people on Reddit are freaking out because one person on Reddit is freaking out.
Okay.
There's like an air conditioner unit in the background of one of the shots. And it's like
really?
An air conditioner unit from like 2007.
Uh-oh.
People are like, this takes me out of the... whatever.
Inconsistency.
Air conditioner.
I'm not in the 80s.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So they find him. This is like very sweet between Max and Lucas. Right. Gino's saying they were like rekindle. Lucas.
No, I was talking about how they were rekindling. I was staying in the Upside Down, and you brought us to the real world.
Oh.
I was talking about rekindling Nancy and
Steve. Look at the parallels between rekindling these loves on the Upside Down and the real world.
By interrupting each other, we actually stumbled upon something in the writing.
A connection. Wow, I like it.
Is
this
what happens a
lot.
Love, Toby?
Yeah, it happens a lot to us.
So yes, I think they're because Steven and Nancy dated in the first season.
But then you know what?
And
we
he was
can't
like the
keep
bully.
going with Toby's thought. We have to find Gino's thought.
Okay, go back
again.
to your thought then.
So let me just finish my thought. Okay. So Lucas and Max, right? Lucas says like, excuse me, like let's see a movie on Friday.
Oh, in the back of the truck. This is in the back of
This is not in the back of the truck.
Oh.
This is in, and he writes on the paper, movie Friday, and Max goes...
and draws a picture of them at the
And then draws a picture of them being adorable. So, like, what was awful is that, like, in the back of your head, you're like, you're not seeing a movie on Friday.
You're gonna
and
die.
then after the end, you're like, ooh, you're not seeing a movie ever.
Yeah, you're going to die.
Rough. Okay.
So that's in the real world. So they're trying to set her up as bait. But yeah, as our crew in the Upside Down are walking to Vecna's house, they start rekindling... Steve and Nancy.
Well, this is like the really sweet part. Also, everything Steve said I also want. So Steve Harrington. I know I'm married, but...
the actor's name is Steve Harrington?
No, the actor's name is something else.
But yeah, so they dated in the first season, and then her new boyfriend's boring and lame, so they're like, let's go back to Steven.
Do you know that they're dating in real life, though?
Steven and...
No.
Oh,
Jonathan and Nancy.
Yeah, okay.
They're dating in real life.
That's... all right.
And I guess it makes sense. It doesn't.
Yeah, but like his character is boring, so like Nancy needs someone better than that.
Wait, but so when Steve is like, I just want a bus, like an RV full of Harringtons, like traveling. I want 6 kids.
She's like, "Ugh."
And right, she's like, honey, I'm having one, and it's going to be in my 40s, because I'm a business career woman,
80s woman
that just needs to go.
Like
I'm a journalist.
Yeah, that's why I have a hyphenated last name because my mom was that.
Right. I'm an independent woman. That's why I haven't changed my last name yet. Independent woman.
I said you could have taken both my last names and also yours. We should continue hyphenating. That's feminism, man. Every year, every generation, you get more last names.
That's right. We'll ask our kids that when they're old enough. Do you want all 3? Daddy has 2. Mommy has 1.
You pick.
You pick 3. None. Make up your own. Yeah. We're very progressive.
So yes, they're going to get them back together.
Wait, you had no thoughts on the adorable RV trip?
I thought it was a fun little story that paid off later when he's like, in that dream I had, it was you all the time. Ugh. You're the mom. I was just talking about how they are setting them up back again as a couple because they made a mistake. Because when he was in the first season, he sucked. So they're like, they
didn't make a mistake. He needed to grow.
No, stop. They are now I know how you feel being interrupted. So in the first season, his character was like the bully boyfriend who Nancy's going to do better by dating the nerd. But then in like the rest of the show, they rehabilitated Steve by having to hang out with
right, but Steve
Dennis.
Couldn't have been no.
What's his name?
Dustin.
Dustin, right? So then Steve became everyone's favorite character and an awesome person. Right. So now they're like, all right, cool, let's put him back with Nancy.
Right.
Yeah.
Steve had to grow. He couldn't stay with Nancy. They had to break up.
I'm just saying they're bringing them back together, which is cool.
And also Nancy needed a driver, so Nancy needed to date Jonathan.
Oh, yeah. He had a car and a camera.
And a camera.
And he creepily took pictures of people.
But
why were they dating? Why?
Because they hit it off.
And now he's like a huge druggie in the 80s where it's not allowed.
It's big.
We're getting ahead of us. We're talking about John.
Are we?
Anyway, so they get to the Vecna house in the Upside Down, and there's bats everywhere. So Eddie busts out the upside down version of a guitar and his amp from the Upside Down and plays Metallica.
I know.
A Metallica song.
People are going to get upset at us.
I know. But apparently Metallica was cool. Kate Bush, loving that they used her song. Metallica, loving they used their song.
And it was wild.
They're seeing them checks coming in from Spotify and Apple Music. So he plays that. I thought it was funny because it's like if you're making a distraction, just get on your guitar and play anything. He didn't have to like shred that hard.
Nah.
And he's like, milli, milli, milli. So, and like as the timer keeps going down, as Dustin is like
10 seconds.
Yeah, he's like shredding harder. It's like, all right, cool. So they get all the bats there. They're fighting the bats. And then there's nothing left they can do. They're like getting backed up into the house. So they're going to leave the Upside Down. And Dustin leaves. And then Eddie's like, for some reason, I'm tired of running. I always run.
Well,
and he cuts the rope back to the real world.
The reason is, let me just help out the character development, right? Is that he ran from literally every other.
I said that.
You did not.
I always run. I said I always run.
Right, but you did not give it the weight that it deserves.
Watch the show. It's a review. It's not. I made a joke before when I said I want to go every line individually.
But we're not doing. We're just. I feel like you're just not appreciating the. Give Eddie his due. Right? He like ran from everything. The problem was the bats were getting into the trailer. So he's like, they're going to get bored. I'm going to go give the people in the house more time, and I'm going to go distract these guys even more. He gets on a bike.
He grabs a spiky shield and a knife.
Rides into the night.
Spear.
I guess it's always
And then
night.
He dies.
I mean, like,
he dies. He gets eaten by the bats.
He does. It is awful.
Yeah, and Dustin's like, no.
Right. Dustin comes back, twists his ankle.
Yeah. So now in the real house, in the Upside Down house, now that the bats are gone, they go in and they trip on a vine, because if you touch the vines, then you'll get sucked up.
No. They don't just trip. There's like an earthquake, right? And it gets everybody off balance.
Yes.
And that. Don't question me.
And then, basically they get sucked up by the vines. So they're getting choked out.
God, you do not appreciate the show.
The longer we take, the more I have to edit. We're doing a review. We're not doing a whole recap of the whole, I guess we are doing a whole recap.
Recapping it.
So they get sucked up by the vines. They're getting choked out, right? At this time, Vecna's gone after Max.
I saw something funny, and it was like, I survived 30 minutes of being choked. Because they're choked for an absurd amount of time.
Yeah, it's like some Dragon Ball Z stuff where it's like 5 minutes. And it's like 3. Yeah, but clearly it's like you're going back and forth in time.
I don't think so. I think they were truly choked. Because this is supposed to be happening
simultaneously as Hopper's cutting off the Demogorgon.
I guess. They were choked for a long time.
And that's why it's hard to talk about this. So, all right. So now the Vecna's got after Max, and he's like chasing her through her memories. And I guess at this point, we should jump to what Eleven's been doing, because we can't really talk about the rest without talking about 11.
Yes.
So 11 is in the lab. Go ahead.
Yes, let me help you.
You watched it 100 times.
I did, twice.
And you slept while you watched.
I did. So she's still in the lab. She's like, I got to go help my friends. She gets her powers back, right? Because she realizes, she like goes through the story, everything at the end. And so she gets her powers back. She's like, I want to go help them. Papa is like, no.
You need more training.
You need more training. You're not ready. And Owens is like...
Papa is Yoda, but an a-hole and weirdly creepy and weird.
And Owens is like, why are you comparing everything to... You don't even like Star Wars.
This is Empire Strikes Back. I like Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, all right.
Yoda says the same thing to Luke. You can't leave yet. And Luke's like, yeah, but my friends.
Okay, so then and Owens is like, we told her that any decision she make, we would support her. So she's like, cool, I'm going to grab my bags, I'm going to leave, I'm going to help my friends, and then the military shows up.
No, you skipped a part. Papa arrests...
Owens.
Owens, and Papa tranks 11. And is like,
that's right.
I'm not letting you leave.
Right.
And 11 just about to kill Papa, and then she passes out. And then the military shows up.
And then the military
So now Papa has to carry her out, because Papa wants to keep her there training, and also because he's a weird creep. Like, in some weird way, he loves 11.
Yeah.
They never go into, like, weird pedophile territory, which I appreciate.
I do, too, because, like, again, with Elvis, like, the relationship between his birth mother and him was super weird.
And also his 14-year-old wife.
And his 14-year-old wife was, like, a little questionable. This never got weird. At least
super weird. It just wasn't pedophile.
But it never felt weird. Like, of course
I thought Papa was super weird. I just thought he wasn't. They didn't ever go into, like, he was
but it
pedophile-y.
but it never made you feel, all right, whatever.
I felt super creeped out by Papa all the time. I'm just saying, they don't make it seem like he was, like, sexually harassing all these kids.
No.
When he had them, he was just training them and being weird.
Right, and, like, being their doctor.
And their dad. He kept calling himself Papa.
Well, I mean, that's a weird
dad vibes.
Yeah.
So anyway, he, like, in some weird way loves 11, so he's going to save her. While the military comes, the military breaks out Owens.
No, it's unclear what happened.
Right, yeah, okay.
He's just like
Owens is like,
leave him.
listen, I can I can go trank her and we could like whatever.
Yeah.
And then if the killings keep happening, leave her alone.
This was sad. This was sad, right? So all the scientists that were on 11's side like go to escape.
And they get shooted.
And then there's a helicopter out there.
Sniper rifle.
Just like
and he hits everybody real easy.
Real easy, except for 11.
Yeah, but obviously. So, because the military wants to kill 11 because they think she's doing the killings. So
right, and Owens is like, seriously, just like, wait.
Knock her out. Yeah. Now, again, maybe I'm no military expert, but I feel like, again, most military people are American citizens, as far as I know. Feel like they would not just start randomly shooting a child in America.
Right.
Maybe overseas, but not in America.
And also just like murdering a bunch of scientists
in America.
POWs,
I feel like that's a crime. Like I feel like you're not allowed to do that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, like who's giving this order?
Yeah, I mean, like, does the president know?
Does the president know?
Is there a president?
Duffer
it's Reagan.
Brothers.
Well, I don't know.
It was in the 80s.
Okay, I can believe it then. Reagan's president?
You think Reagan knows?
I can believe it. Does Reagan know about 11?
Yeah.
I think they should bring that up in.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Hawkins is about to, like, go down in history as, like, being, like, how are they going to hide
Carter?
this from
the Carter the 70s or the late 80s? Early 80s?
He's still alive.
It's one of those ones. It's one of those ones.
Carter's still alive?
Yeah, I can see 80s America shooting children. Yeah, okay.
This is rough.
I'm just saying. 80s were weird, man.
The 80s were weird.
So anyway, 11 gets out. Papa gets shot by the sniper. Oh, and 11 has, like, an electric collar on her, so she can't escape from Papa. Also, she's like half powerless.
I just want to be clear, that's escape.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying it from
Dory.
Finding Dory.
Yeah.
So they at this point, the useless characters of Mike and Will, who had nothing to do this season except for look for 11, they pull up in their truck with the pothead guys, pizza guy.
I'm not helping you anymore.
And they Papa gets shot, and 11 like runs away, and then 11's gonna get shot, but she starts like rocking the helicopter back and forth.
Yeah.
And so the guy keeps missing because he can't get a shot. And then she throws the
helicopter to all the
ground.
Trucks. Yeah.
And just everything blows up. Like all the gasoline that the production manager could get. I
want to know how they did this shot because like
gasoline.
Right, but like the helicopter, and then so you CG the helicopter falling and then you explode it?
Yeah, so you probably had just like a real helicopter and it was really going back and forth, right?
It seemed crazy.
And you have like a pilot who's trained to do that. Mm-hmm. And then you get rid of the helicopter and then you do like just a shot of like things blowing up. And then in post, you just put a CG helicopter in.
You guys should have heard, I can't remember what we had filmed before, but Gino was like, fix it in post, fix it in post. Like literally that was just his line.
Fix it in post. Yeah, we can't crash a helicopter, put it in post.
Put it in post.
So yeah, they probably just, I can't imagine they got permission to crash a real helicopter, but like
of course not. Well, also, but
they're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but like there's got to be a person in it. How can there not be a person in the helicopter?
Have them jump out and then it'll crash. Yeah, no, they probably use, or they put it on like a crane and drop it.
Maybe, and then they green screen the crane out.
Yeah, you just have the crane off camera. But it was a wide shot, so I don't think they could do that.
All right, let us know if you were in the shot. What happened?
Let Netflix. I'll watch your behind the scenes. Like, do it.
Me too.
Yeah, they don't do enough of that stuff. I used to love that stuff.
We watched the dinosaur show on Apple TV Plus, and the behind the scene was 5 minutes, and we were like,
yeah, and I wanted to see like how they did the dinosaurs. Like, I wanted to see, but they didn't. Or like where they got the shot. I guess it's just drone footage in that show.
They didn't tell us. They just said this is how we know things. I was like, well, that's not what we want.
Anywho, in Papa's last dying moments, he unleashes 11. He gets rid of this electric collar, and he's like, 11, know that I always loved you. And that everything I did for love, I need you to know that.
And listen, baller doesn't say anything and just gets up and walks away.
She's like, bye, Papa. And then he dies, and she doesn't get her approval. Good.
I thought she was going to, like,
kill him,
help him out a little bit, but she just, like, lets him go.
Well, I was going to say, what's she going to do? What's she going to bring him back from the dead?
No, I thought, again.
Yeah, I keep trying to look at the camera, like, in the office, but I keep looking at the screen next to the camera. I keep failing. Oh. Can I do that again? I'm going to do that again. What are they going to do? Bring him back from the dead? She brings someone back from the dead, Toby.
Oh, right.
I was saying, what is she going to do? She can't bring people back from the dead. She doesn't have that power.
Oh, right.
She does have that power.
She does have that power, but because she
doesn't use it on Papa on purpose.
I think that's what she did.
Yeah, but she could do that.
Yeah, but I thought she was going to, like, break his neck or something. So he died.
Oh, kill him?
Like, so he died faster.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, he's on the way out.
I thought that's what she was going to do, but she's not merciful, I guess. She's like, you don't deserve that.
I also think that, like, it's going to be a hard way of showing your, like, heroic character who's supposed to be, like, a little girl who's nice.
Yeah.
murdering someone. I mean, although she did just murder 2 guys.
Yeah.
But like they were shooting at her, so she had to do it.
I guess so.
But I feel like if you're on camera, like showing her crack someone's neck, that's like Darth Vader status.
I guess.
Yeah.
So my other issue with this scene is that, like, obviously the military people underground, like, heard this huge explosion. Aren't they just gonna, like, run up and see what's going on? The boys and 11 took forever to get in the van.
I also like when because Elle's like all jazzed up and like ready to kill something, and then Mike's like 11, and she's like turns to him like. And then she realizes who it is. She's like, oh, yay.
Right, softens. And then they took forever to like say hello. How are you doing? How'd you get here? What's going on? I'm like, get
And then the
van.
military casual walks out and they're like, oh, I guess we're done.
Right,
There's
like
nothing left.
We'll see you in season 5.
Yeah, there's nothing else for us to do.
No.
So now they're going to go back to Hawkins to go beat up Vecna and to help everybody.
That's the plan.
But they can't because it's too far away.
Right.
So and they can't get a flight. So pizza guy is like, I'm gonna. And they had mentioned
Argyle
in the before is like, wow, they put California pizza in Nevada. That's awesome.
That's not what it's called. Surfer Boy
Pizza. So he goes to another Surfer Boy Pizza where there's another like pothead Argyle there, and they fill up their fridge with water to make Elle a chamber for her to be in.
Yeah.
So that she can mind walk to Max. And then through Max's brain, beat up Vecna.
They call it piggybacking.
She calls it piggybacking.
You're saying dreamwalk because we just watched Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
That's why he's saying that.
Right. So that's what she's going to do.
Right.
So now if we go back to... Oh, and this whole time, Will is discussing his the relationship between... He's helping Mike out. What's the main character's name?
You got it.
Main character?
It's Mike.
He's helping Mike deal with his relationship with Elle in a way that's like very clearly him discussing his own relationship with Mike. I think the Duffer Brothers are claiming that in their heads that Will was always intended to be gay,
which is fine.
Yeah.
And like it was a very good monologue. Actually, all of the acting was pretty good for like kids that don't do much of anything else. Like Mike, I think, is the only one out of like Lucas, Dustin, and Will that has really done something during this time.
Right. He has like other movies that he's done. The other ones really haven't.
No. And like Elle's been in Godzilla. Was that good? I didn't see it.
Millie Bobby Brown. And she's like a fashion icon.
Right. So but the acting in here, I was like, wow, this is really also Will is a great
kid. I mean, they're not kids, that's the thing.
They're like 19, but like Will's a great crier. Every time he cried like 14 times in this season.
I would say he was great. And who's the redhead one?
Sadie
Who
Sink.
looks like she's 12, but she's actually 20. Sadie Sink. She like kills it this season.
Yes, but we were also told that she like is a Broadway kid.
Yeah.
So she's been like acting for a while.
Allegedly, from someone that we know. She's great. Like, Sadie, if she doesn't get a career out of this, like I don't know what the hell. What are people doing?
I want to know what she looks like as a 20-year-old.
She still looks like a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
I've seen like videos of her online. She still looks like a 12-year-old.
Yeah. I mean, like throw some mascara on. I don't know, but
she would just look like a 12-year-old mascara.
12-year-old mascara.
But yeah, like get this girl a career. And I think that one of the nicest scenes in the show is that Will's brother, Jonathan, has pretty much figured out that his brother's gay, but it's the 80s, so he doesn't want to say anything. But he basically, as they're like very slowly stirring the salt into the little slowly water chamber for Elle, because she has to have salt so she can float. He's like, listen, like no matter what happens, and I mean no matter what happens, I always love you. You're my brother.
Right.
Yada, yada,
you
yada.
can talk to me. I miss our talks.
I had someone do that to me in college. One of my friends. Yeah, I'm gonna call him out. Ridwan straight up thought I was gay.
Ridwan, do you listen?
I probably not.
Probably not.
But yeah, he's like, dude, it's okay if you're gay. I'm like, dude, I'm not. I don't know if he was joking or not. I don't think he was joking. I'm like, dude, like I'm not gay. He's like, it's okay if you're gay.
And then you had a girlfriend.
I'm like, I really appreciate that you're okay with it, but like, no, I'm not. Like, it's really cool of you,
right?
But like, I'm not actually.
It's great
gay.
that you feel comfortable enough to reach out to me, right?
To tell me.
Tell me you think I'm gay.
You're like sitting me down here. You like call me to this room right now. I was like, are you coming out? Like, is this like a
right? Do you want me to then say it's okay?
Yeah. Am I supposed to say it to you now?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's happened to me before. But yeah, it was a cute scene. between two brothers, especially because it's the 80s and everyone's super homophobic back then.
Right. So it was like, and again, Will cries. Like, I'm telling you.
Great crier, man.
Great crier.
Yeah.
Like, there are some people that can't handle it. He can.
So Doja Cat's been sliding into the actor for Will's DMs.
Yeah, but not.
He's the one of the youngest.
Him.
He's 7. Not for him. Not for him, because he's 17. She apparently slid into his DMs, allegedly, to get the information for the metal guy, for Eddie, because she couldn't find him on social media.
Doja Cat, go after
Doja
Steve
Cat, you're
Harrington.
24? Also, like, stop. Imagine if I found some kid, and I was like, hey, kid, your mom's hot.
Hey, high schooler.
Hey, high school 17-year-old kid, your mom is hot. Or like, your older friend is hot.
Your older friend, yeah.
Please give me their number. That's weird and creepy. Don't do that.
Right. Also, Doja
You're 24.
Cat, you're 24.
Don't
and
do
you're
that.
famous.
Right. So now, but she's really mad at him.
For like outing
because
her.
he blasted her on. Yeah. Good for Will. Keep blasting people.
Nobody else is going to slide into his DMs.
No one should be. He's 17.
Yeah, no one should be.
No one
That's
should be sliding in his DMs except for other 17-year-olds.
Sorry.
Come on. Wait until he's 18.
Yeah, just give him another year.
Oh my
God.
God. Again, could you imagine if it was Millie Bobby Brown before she was 18?
Right.
And all these creepy dudes were like, oh,
hey,
Nancy's real hot.
Number.
Get me your number. It's like, dude, what?
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
just enough plausible deniability so you can say, I'm not hitting on the 17-year-old.
Right.
I really wanted to hit on the older person.
It's not great, though.
By messaging the 17-year-old.
Not a good look.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad. Don't do that.
Okay, so then she's going into, goes into her trance, and
at this point, Max is getting beat up in her brain. Max calls out Vecna. Oh, and Max has the craziest, saddest monologue where, because she knows that Vecna feeds on negative energy.
Yeah.
So she goes into this like, I didn't even feel, I hated my brother. I didn't even feel bad when he died. I've always wanted him to die.
Right. And then when he did die,
I felt bad for wanting it. And like, I didn't help him on purpose. And then I wanted to die, and I was like, Jesus.
I know. Well,
and that's when I was like, she's a good actor.
She's a good actor. And then when Lucas was like, is that true? I was like,
but it wasn't Lucas.
First of all, what a good way to show that she's in the upside down.
Yeah.
Because like when Lucas started talking, she's like, Lucas, stop talking. He's like, do you think that about me? Good. I hope Vecna comes after you.
And then it's a Vecna.
And then like, that
Lucas would be like, oh my God, is that real? Like,
right,
I'm so sorry.
I'm here for you. Talk to me.
Draw more. We'll draw more. Do you want to draw?
We'll go skateboarding.
Yeah. So once anyone's mean, it's a Vecna.
Right.
But Vecna's like excited about it. He's like, you really want to die? Like, cool. Like, let's do it.
It's your time. I got the fourth chime
you're the
ready.
chosen one. Like, yay.
Yeah,
so
let's go.
Vecna's having, she's like, no. And then she like runs away.
Yeah. And so
into the dance.
And that was her plan the whole time, was to hide in a happy memory.
Yes. And I like how she's just sitting there at the dance by herself like this.
Right.
Like, waiting for him to like blast the doors open. And then like, it's like the balloons start popping blood.
So spooky.
Yeah.
That was such a good transition into like, okay, he's coming. Like the streamers start falling.
I like it because it's an 80s throwback that's not like beating you over the head with an 80s throwback.
I guess so. I did.
The balloon popping blood.
You know what's crazy? I did just watch it and I did make that connection.
Thing. Yeah, I was like, oh, it's it. Yeah. Right on in the library and Tim Curry starts popping the balloons with blood.
Probably. He pops a lot of balloons. There's a lot of balloons in it.
Have you been watching the new It?
I did watch the new It. I did watch the new It with, what's his face? His brother.
Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Is there a Skarsgård in this? No, right? No Skarsgårds?
No.
I feel like Skarsgård.
They're everywhere, but not in this.
We're watching Thor later, so we're going to see if there's Dad Skarsgård is in that.
I hope so.
So yeah, I like that little 80s throwback. I like the little scene. So then Vecna strolls into the dance. No outfit. No.
He's not prepared.
Yeah, but can we talk about the makeup for Vecna?
Yes.
Okay, so I was like, wow, the CGI in Vecna looks great. I was like, I wonder if that's makeup or whatever. And you're like, oh, it's makeup. I'm like, well, his tentacles are moving. So it can't be makeup, or maybe it's both.
So what's the reason I know that he was at least in a Vecna suit is because there's a funny meme.
I've seen it.
Where he's like drinking coffee.
He's drinking iced coffee. At least it's a meme and not in the show Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, a coffee cup.
Leaving a coffee cup in the freaking...
Lord.
Yeah, God. Okay, please.
Which one's better?
I wish I'd go back in time and tell myself, like, just stop. Don't watch after season 5 of Game of Thrones. And then watch Battle of the Bastards and then, like, make your own story. So, yes, it's a full suit. And then, so that's why it looks so good. Going back to what we keep talking about, like, CGI is good for some things. Mm-hmm. but you need a real thing there. Like the Iron Man suits always look better when they had a real suit and then they CGI'd over it. Like the newer Iron Man movies, like Avengers Endgame, they just like CGI the whole thing and it doesn't look as good. So Vecna looks so good because it's a real suit, a real makeup, and then they CGI the tentacles to look like they're moving.
Right.
So it looks real because it's mostly real.
Right, which is also why this takes so long to come out. Can you guys
also
hurry up?
This is why Netflix had to raise their prices. Because that suit can't be cheap. Putting all that makeup on, it can't be cheap. So Vecna's about to Vecna Max. She's like can't hold him off. She's holding him against the wall. He's gonna kill her. And then he flies across the room.
And we're like,
yay! Because Elle shows up.
Elle figured it out.
She like throws him out of the gym, and then Max is like, "Are you real? Am I imagining you?"
Right,
And she's
it's
like,
so cute.
She's like, "I'm real. I'm in a pizza fridge." She's like, "What?"
Right. Well, and then every time like we see a flashback of Max with Elle, Gino's like, "Oh, Max was fun."
I forgot that Max, because she's so depressing this season.
So depressing.
I forgot that she was. I mean, yeah. I forgot that in the earlier season she wasn't like that. I
right,
forgot.
that she's usually smiling,
and that I forgot that her and Elle had like such a strong friendship.
Right.
So like they showed flashbacks of that while she's trying to think of happy.
So that
thoughts.
was sweet.
But then Vecna comes back, and Elle and her fight in the brain.
Elle
of
and
Max.
him.
Elle and Vecna. And Vecna's winning. He wins in the dance.
He does win.
And he throws Elle and throws Elle into his brain, his little brain throne thing. In I guess not in the upside down. That's just in his brain. It's unclear if it's the upside down or his brain. I think it's his brain.
I think it's the upside down.
Whatever. So he ties Elle up to a door. And he's like, "I'm gonna make you watch."
Hey, do your good Vecna voice.
I'm gonna make you watch. So the voice, I've seen the behind the scenes. The voice, it's the guy who plays a one doing the voice.
Yeah.
He does put on a deeper voice.
But then they change it.
Yeah. So he talks like this.
It also,
I don't think it was actually bad without the effects. They could have just done that.
No, but I also like that you can hear that it's his voice because in his explanation, like you can hear it.
Yeah. Also, man, if you're doing voice work, stop drinking iced coffee. What are you doing? No one's telling you. I used to get yelled at St. John's if we had a concert that day, and the other chorus director, who was always around, if he saw me like at the Starbucks, he'd be like, "You have a concert tonight. Don't drink that." And I'm like, "I'm sorry," because caffeine's bad for your throat.
Oh my God, drink what you want.
I'm saying if you're a professional, and you're going to the vocal booth, no coffee.
Okay, for the rest of us.
Maybe it was decaf iced coffee. So basically, Vecna's winning. He's gonna kill Max. Max in the real world flies up.
Well, in the real world, what's happening, right, as this is happening, Jason, okay, right, so they're in the real house. A vigilante comes, sees weird stuff happening at the house, tells Jason's group, and they come to the house.
All right, so what's his face?
Jason.
Lucas can't help Max. So he can't put Kate Bush on.
And then Jason steps on the...
She lost because she didn't have Kate Bush.
Right.
Right, so Lucas is fighting the bully in the real world, and her Kate Bush tape gets stepped on.
And Jason's like, wake her up. And Lucas is like, I can't.
Yeah,
like,
she's floating. Yeah.
Well, no, it's just like, I can't because it's not time yet. I haven't gotten the signal.
Yeah. Oh, that's why that's why she couldn't beat him this time. She didn't have Kate Bush.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. But now, basically, all of these stories have converged. So, like, right now, the three people in the Upside Down are getting choked by the vines. Hopper is fighting the Demogorgon in Russia.
Yeah.
Max is getting Vecna'd, and Elle is piggybacking off her, currently getting tied up by Vecna. I think Hopper chops the head off of the Demogorgon.
It like all happens at once.
Yeah, it releases the
vines from the three.
The three get to go throw Molotov cocktails at real Vecna in the Upside Down.
Burning him. Oh, I guess
shooting
this
him with a
his
gun.
head then because like they're in the real Upside Down. Okay.
So then Elle, at this time, Elle is like in the real world in the pizza place.
And she's like clearly struggling.
So Mike does the thing that we predicted.
I love you.
Like he explains the whole thing, and she's like, "I fight for my friends."
Right.
And she like unleashes her power. She like breaks through her limits. Got a lot of Dragon Ball Super vibes from that.
Right before Max's head explodes, she's still all broken.
Max is floating and her bones are breaking.
Yeah, like we see it. Yeah. Awful, guys.
So she's about to die.
Right.
And then that's when Elle is able to push back Vecna. In the real underground, they're burning him. So Max falls back to the ground, and it looks like they've kind of succeeded, maybe. For a second.
Right. So they do, right. And so Vecna gets like thrown out the window. When you go down and look again, he's gone.
Keep shooting him, man. They did like the classic trope.
You cut off the head.
They hit him with like 2 Molotov cocktails. She shot him like a bunch of times. And he falls out the window. I would just keep shooting.
Yeah, right? Like bang, bang, bang.
So Vecna runs away. He's not dead.
Right.
And then Max dies anyway. So Max is like, and again, she's like, I don't want to die.
Oh my
like,
God.
I can't see. I can't feel anything.
Lucas is like screaming.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
I know.
So Max ends up dying anyway in Lucas's arms. So the fourth portal opens and Hawkins gets blown up.
Right.
Big giant.
Now though,
lava.
Not right before, because... Or is it already open and then Elle's like, no?
Yeah, so she dies. So the portal already opens.
That's right.
So now Hawkins, there's like lava coming out everywhere. It's like blowing up a bunch of stuff.
I also liked how they showed that it was like quite dangerous. It's not just falling.
Yeah, the best part of the whole show, which you missed. I was like, how'd you miss that?
I missed it, and I was on Twitter, and people were like, I'm glad Jason died. I was like, when?
Yeah, so the bully gets freaking ripped apart by
and he screams.
And you see his like intestines fall out.
Yes.
So as the portal's opening, he gets ripped apart. And everyone's like, yay.
I know. Wow.
So good. Get rid of him. No one liked him. But that's the thing. Like, they're so good at making characters that, like, you either love.
Right.
And you hate when they die. Like
we all.
Like
what?
Sam from season 2.
Right. Or like even with Billy. Like, Billy had a redemption and then died.
Yeah.
So, like, that was sad, too.
So this guy dies. Good. Get rid of him.
Right. Well, that's why when we saw Max, we were like, fingers like, come on, Max.
Yeah, and she died. So then Ella's crying. Everyone's crying. And Ella's like...
Sorry, I'm looking at Millie.
Millie's meatloaf by the door. Ella's like, no. And she, in the brain, like in the psychic world, in her like Max's brain, I guess, reaches into Max's chest and I guess... brings her back to life.
Yeah. Like some sort of psychic, like pulse, whatever, brings her heart back.
So Max comes back to life, I guess horribly injured and blind. So they then they have the epilogue. The epilogue's probably like 20 minutes. They show, I think, the people in Russia like...
coming back.
Yeah. Okay. So epilogue, they're in the hospital. Well,
not yet. So everybody comes back. Hawkins is all leaving. Right.
There's an evacuation of Hawkins because it's like splitting apart.
Then they do the SpongeBob 2 days later.
Yeah, 2 days. Yes, they do the actual voice too.
Yeah,
2 days.
They hired me.
Yeah,
and
you do the voice for SpongeBob.
2 days later.
Pretty sure it's Tom Kenny, the guy who does.
Have fun.
SpongeBob's voice.
And so the pizza car is going towards Hawkins.
Yeah, so the people who are in like I guess Utah or wherever, Nevada, they go back to Hawkins.
God, Nevada's like not near.
They're hanging out with Mike's mom, the Nancy's mom, the MILF one.
I have an issue with this. She's not like calling her son. Like, why aren't you picking up at Joyce's house? Well, because someone's on a trip. At Joyce's house.
Right, but she can't call because no one's picking up.
Well, also something I have a question.
It's the 80s. There's no cell phones.
Yeah, but I have another question. They should be picking up the house phone.
Right, but like who else is she going to call? I guess the police.
Joyce.
Right, so that's who she's calling and no one's answering.
And my issue is though 2 days later, right, after what happened in Hawkins, you probably don't have power. You don't have water. Like that.
You might have water.
The city's destroyed. There's no way that water.
Well, it only destroys in like 4 lines.
Yeah, but like... think about just whatever reservoir you have, probably
maybe
destroyed.
We're not environmentalists.
But also, I know, right? But you don't have power. So, like, what have you been doing? You're not going to have hot water.
It's like the 2008, 2004 blackout.
That lasted a few
3 days.
hours.
No, that's 3 days. The 2003 blackout in New York, that lasted like 3 days. You don't remember? Oh my God, I ate so much ice cream, ice pops.
There's no way it lasted that long.
Look it up. People look it up. It was like 3 days. I remember. It was the summertime. No air conditioning.
No, I remember it too because I think, and it's been a while since I've mentioned Kim. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kim. I don't know if you're going to listen to this because you don't want Stranger Things.
You should.
We were walking to the pool or something, or like to get bagels or whatever, JNR, and all the lights were out. And we're like, how are we supposed to cross the street? We're like 12. I don't know what's happening here. And I stayed at her house, I think.
Yep. I just remember going to my grandma's and eating all the frozen. We like had a barbecue with all the meats were defrosted. We just had a barbecue.
I guess so, right? That's what you're gonna do.
Anyway, so it lasted for 3 days, but in the real world blackout. So anyway, they reunite, and she's like, "Where's Max and 11 or Lucas?" And they're like, "Oh, she's at the hospital." So they go to the hospital, and Max is essentially brain dead. Like her body's alive, but she's essentially dead. So I think that
we know that she's essentially brain dead because 11 goes into her mind and nothing's there.
Yeah, and I think they mentioned she was dead for a full minute.
Yeah.
And 11 tries to read her mind, and there's nothing there.
So you want to hear some theories? So some things that I've seen is that maybe Max wakes up with powers.
Oh, because 11, like...
Yeah, maybe Max is still under Vecna's control. So, like, maybe that's why nothing's there. I
think maybe the plot point of the last season is maybe they have to bring Max back to life to close the portal.
Oh.
Maybe her coming back to life would close the portal.
Interesting.
Maybe?
And, like, reverse it?
Yeah. Like, maybe that's how they can figure out how to do it.
Maybe.
So they're going to find the best doctors to bring her back to life.
Doctors. They're going to go to Seattle, and they're going to go to Grey's Anatomy.
Yes. And it's going to be a crossover.
Hey!
Yes, even though all those characters would be like kids, right?
Meredith's like, I got this.
Wouldn't they be babies because it's in modern times? Wouldn't the characters from
They would
Grey's
be
Anatomy
babies. You're right. Never mind.
So maybe they go to the Grey's Anatomy babies, and then they get them out. So then I think that's it, right?
Well, and then you see, because at the end, it starts snowing.
Oh, it starts snowing in the dust.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Hawkins is basically turning into the Upside Down. No, we skipped the best part. So they're gonna keep 11 because she's back in Hawkins. They're gonna keep her at the trailer that she lived with Hopper.
Oh yeah.
So they go there. They're cleaning it up, and then Winona Ryder and Hopper show up, and you get all the reunion, and you get the reunion of 11 and Hopper, and 11's like, what happened? You're thin. What happened? And and like his head shaved. They compare the shaved head.
And your head shaved too.
Yeah, that's a much better dad for 11. Screw Papa.
Oh my God, of course.
Yeah, Hopper is awesome.
Even Mean Hopper was fine.
Yeah, Grumpy Mean Hopper is a good dad.
Yeah.
Compared to like creepy kidnap.
Of course.
Tranquilize you.
I think that's a hands down.
Yeah.
I'll do that poll.
If I'm a grumpy mean dad like Hopper, I think I'd be cool with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm a weird kidnapping children dad like Papa,
I don't think we'd
that'd
be
bad.
together.
Yeah, but definitely wouldn't be able to do the podcast anymore.
No.
Too many babies I've kidnapped.
Too many babies?
Butterfly tried to come in the house. They left.
Oh.
So that's the end. I think that's awesome. But now basically they showed that like, all right, all the characters are together now. They're all in one place, right? Because this season was very much like they're all in separate places.
Right. So now, they're all together. They have this one awesome shot of everybody together, and Will starts feeling.
Oh yeah, Will.
Prickles.
Okay, so can we talk about our thoughts on the whole season then?
Yes.
Okay, so I would say the one criticism of this is that it very much felt like Mike and Will, who I had felt were the two main characters,
The heart, if you will.
have like nothing to do this season. Like they have basically nothing outside of like a few cool scenes. So I hope they get more to do in the next season.
I can only imagine the answer is yes, because I mean, like they do have a really large cast. So like even the Russia story wasn't that big of a deal. So like they got less airtime. Mike and Will, I think, are going to. I saw on the internet somebody was like, it starts with Will, it's going to end with Will. Like
I hope he doesn't die.
I hope he doesn't die either. I mean, like that would
How
be.
will creepy adult
That would be really
rap
unfair.
artists slide into his DMs if he's not on the show anymore?
Nobody slide into his DMs.
By season 5, you can slide into his DMs.
Right?
How about that?
I just think, like, it's going to be a Mike and Will season.
Show.
It's also nice.
Is Mike and Will going to end up together?
No,
You think that Mike's straight?
I think Mike is
That's
straight.
messed up of you, Toby.
He's gonna end up with 11.
That's the 80s. They can't end up together.
I mean, they can do whatever they want.
I
We
mean,
have
they
Robin.
could.
You think Robin's gonna end up with her girl that she's a crush on?
That's the 80s.
I think they're gonna.
We like barely mentioned Robin has a crush on a girl.
Well, because it's like a very side.
She's like very much the comic relief.
Yeah.
I hope they give her a little more to do in the 5th season.
I mean, they gave her a lot to do when they were at the mall.
Yeah,
That was like a big Robin.
She's
heavy.
that meme now of like it's always you guys again.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Hopper and dude, right? It's like Dustin and
I don't know.
and then he's like, yeah.
You're on the internet more than me. But I do, and I think season 5 is going to be like I don't know the structure. I don't even think they have the structure yet. Like if it's going to be
They're writing it now, but it's not coming out until 20. They announced that it's 2024. It's coming out.
Oh my God.
So a full year of no Stranger Things.
We'll just sit here waiting.
Yeah.
Where's that meme of the skeleton?
Yeah.
That'll be us.
Yeah, and can we cancel Netflix yet?
No.
Yeah, so okay, that's my criticism. It feels like Mike and Will had nothing to do this season, aside from the scene where Mike's like, "Hey, this is an anime, and you're the Krillin, Mike." He's basically, you're the Krillin. You've got to be the one who's like, "Yay!" Like, we need you to do
Will is talking
things.
to Mike.
Yeah, you're the heart.
Yes,
You're
does
the guy
call him
with the heart ring, the most useless character in Captain Planet.
Yeah, but what are you going to do without him? Nothing. You need him.
You need him, otherwise Captain Planet would blow up the Earth in that. There's a Funny or Die skit where he just kills all the humans.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, so you need the heart. So Will basically explains to Mike that you're the heart. You're the one who's going to keep 11 motivated, and you're you're the one that's going to give us all +5 to resolve.
Well, and you know what? Mike had his I love
D&D
you
thing. I don't know my D&D stats.
Mike had his I love you to L moment. Now in season 5, he's going to have his I love you to Will moment. So Will can snap out of it.
Oh, you think he's going to do that with Will?
I don't think it's going to be an I love you,
but it's
I
the
think
80s,
it's going to be like you're my best friend. Like you're my best friend.
And then Will's going to be like, what? If there's any character who should be able to get powers, it's Will.
I mean, honestly.
He got Demogorgoned, and he was
in the upside down for a long time.
And he was taken over by the Mind Flayer. Or was he not?
Maybe he does have powers.
He should get power. And then Mike can be like, I love you.
Oh, I love both of you with powers.
As a friend.
No, specifically, I only am attracted to people with powers.
I have some sort of weird thing.
Right. This is my fetish.
So go have powers, and then
maybe
we'll wait until the 2000s, and then we can be together.
Okay. Well.
Wait, is that it?
I think so.
There's no more you want to talk about? What are your thoughts on the whole thing?
I don't know. It was good. I'm done.
Nothing?
I'm done. It was great. I liked it a lot. I rewatched it 2 times already. Briefly, loosely.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Thank you for listening to For Better or Worse. If you like what you heard and want to know more, visit our website for betterorworse.buzzsprout.com and subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever you use so you never miss an episode. Like and subscribe to our show on YouTube so you can see what we look like and watch our cat. To let us know what you think, comment, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. You can ring the bell. You can comment on our YouTube, subscribe.
TikTok, too. We got 16, 17,000 views on one of our TikToks.
18,000 views on one of our TikToks. Why don't you add to it? See if you agree with Gino. He really upset a lot of people on the internet.
Star Wars TikTok is not happy with me.
No, or Avatar TikTok. Not happy with you either.
They're both dumb.
Well, see you next time when we talk more movies and TV.
Bye.
Bye.